XctN.
Well, you just asked me a question about it, and I got it right again. Next question, 2 for 2.
Do we have to fact check you?
I'm right. I'm telling you I'm right.
Are you sure though?
Yes.
Okay. What country was the Who
Said
won?
not unreasonable.
Who won? What country won the first Olympics?
Won the first Olympic. I mean, I would assume Italy, because it was like, Rome that was doing a lot of that stuff. Or Rome, rather, than Italy.
First Olympics. What?
Let me type it. Winner of first Olympics into Google.
Oh, I see United States.
That's the modern Olympics. I'm talking about any Olympics.
Well, underneath it says 1896.
That's pretty modern. Let's have a look. Medal count. There we go. It was the US. No. Well, it depends. It depends what your measure is. So is it
What's going on, man? Where's the game?
is it gold medals or is it total medals that you measure Olympics on? I'm wrong regardless.
Total medals, isn't it?
Nah, a lot of the tables measure it by gold first, but I think those are like very Americanized tables. Because they tend to. They are, man. Have you seen American maps sometimes? They're just like, we're the whole world. Basically, America had 20 medals total. 11 of them were gold. And then the second one was Greece. They had 10 gold medals, but in total they had 47 medals. So I would say Greece probably won those Olympics. It was also the host nation, Athens. Why did I think the Olympics were Roman instead of Grecian? I don't know. I'm just dumb.
Yes, you are. It's okay.
But smarter than you, who can't even get an answer right when you Google it. Donks are rising.
I was just wait. I was gonna say how long I didn't have to say something for. So DB is saying where is he, and he's asking if Shanks is buying Jollibee or not. So
I know I would be.
is it really that good? Honestly, I saw a meal of it. It looked. I don't know if I want to get
Careful
people
what
hating
you
on
say,
me. Yeah.
bro. Chat will go nuts.
I just thought about that, dude. I don't know. I might get like half chat just absolutely turning on me.
Bro, Jollibee spaghetti. Mwah.
What?
Beautiful.
Wait, hey, I'm so confused. I thought it was just like a fast food chain. The only picture I saw was
like
a burger.
fried chicken. No, it's like fried chicken or spaghetti. Those are the big two.
Oh, okay. Interesting. It's a fast food chain, yeah?
Yeah.
And they do chicken and then pasta, spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting combination.
Loved around the world. So if you haven't had it, treat yourself. Do we have any in Australia? Let me have a look.
I don't know. I've never heard of Jollibee.
You've never heard of Jollibee. Or it is going to open. Oh, there's going to be one opening in Australia. Okay.
Yo!
And this article was released a month ago. All right, recent news. I'm getting hype. I'm taking you to Jollibee. No, you're taking me to Jollibee for all the times I'm right.
What? Why?
You still haven't paid up. That's why.
I'm going to, man. Dude, I got shit on my plate.
I keep hearing. Well, you might want to clean that plate. It's a long game that we've got 2 more series to cast today. All right. While we're still waiting, I think they only have about 2 minutes of pause time left. Predictions for the major. Who's top 4?
Let's go! Do you know how excited I am for the major? Oh my god. All right. I believe in. Wait, let me get them up.
I don't even know off the top
All
of your
right,
head.
let's go through them all real quick. OG, Gladiators, Liquid, Tundra, Bet Boom, Spirit, Mind Games, Fnatic, Boom, T1, EG, TSM, Thunder Awaken, and Beast Coast. You said top 4. Does it have to be in order? Or can I just give top 4?
Give me a winner and then the rest of the 3. You don't need the other 3 to be in order.
Okay. I think. Freak it. Let's go Boom, baby. I reckon first place Boom. Wait, give me a second. I need to check what's going on. All right, Execration. I have 1 minute of pause time left, just so
I'll
everyone's
tell
aware.
you what's happening. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
okay. I can Boom win. I think Liquid top 4 along with... I really am intrigued to see how Spirit play. I'll put Liquid, Spirit, and I think EG. I'm a bit worried about how OG perform. With some inexperience, and they have a stand-in, I believe, as well, right? Who else is? It's Mind Games. Anyway, that's my top 4. Boom, Win, Liquid, EG, and Spirit in top 4.
And also, who's getting eliminated? The bottom 2.
Group A is going. Fuck, that's a good group. Well, what the? All right, Beast Coast. That's a good group, man. And then Group B, kind of a hype group as well. I'll say, yo.
Hurry up, game starting. Quick. Game starting.
Mind Games.
Okay. I'm close to agreeing with you for who's getting eliminated, but I think EG's going to win, and Boom, and Spirit, and...
Hang on, what? You said Boom's not going to win?
No, I think they're top 4. I don't think they're going to win.
Dude, get him, chat. Get
I
him.
think T1 and Fnatic are also going to be top 8. But
we'll see. I don't know about that.
There's some things. I don't want to say too much because teams might be listening.
Dude, no one's listening to you. No one
Chat listens. Chat knows.
Okay, but you know who's not listening?
I see you.
Okay, you know who's not listening? I'll list off all the captains. Misha's not going to be there. But you've got the lads over on Ducalis is not listening, Maposhka's not listening, Celery doesn't give a damn. Snaking also couldn't care less. So can you give us the inside information?
Insania is a
okay. No, we got a shot. We've been speaking too long. We got a game on our hands. As Palos, what's going on here? Nothing crazy, but I just honestly didn't want to hear you keep talking smack about Boom. Come on, man.
The battle begins.
I'm not talking smack. I said they're going to finish top 4. This is a very stacked major.
That's not good enough. Dude, stacked major with no China teams.
As stacked as it can be.
Even stacker and stacked. All right.
You and your words.
All right, let's see how this is going to shape up. We were both giving a bit of an edge to Army Geniuses. I think.
Yes.
We both felt like their lanes, that's where the big advantage is going to come out on, especially mid lane. We mentioned it with the Dragonite into the Ember Spirit, but the big reasoning why is because the DK does not need to go for a bottle in this lane, so he can spend a lot of his gold onto stats, which is going to drastically help out, one with his sustain, but also just with his damage. So that is where Bob will really struggle. And I have, in fact, actually seen Embers just drag the wave and play away from the Dragonite in this matchup.
I mean, even just the damage is just so far ahead on the DK, right? He doesn't need to worry about as much sustain. You can see he's still got his Tango's backpacked, relying on the Gauntlets of Strength for the majority of his damage. And yeah, he's just bullying Bob.
Is Bob?
No, he's not dead. But he can't farm, basically. He's got one Tango left, and he needs to make sure that he's not getting his last hits interrupted here.
Shanks might be killed off top. Vreeze gets the blast. Beautifully done as... Damn, Tiny position 1 having some impact. That's crazy.
Still not convinced, but it's fine. It's just not busted anymore.
Do you feel like his laning stage was heavily impacted?
Not really. I mean, it's just basically building damage was the biggest nerf, right? And then the tree attack damage multiplier, but that's only when grow is impacted. So that's once the laning stage is done. So laning stage is basically identical.
And I guess that's maybe where we can see Tiny's always play off their strength, because prior he's always been a really strong laner. And you saying that he wasn't nerfed heavily in this regard is a big thing for this hero, because maybe that's something that we can see in drafts in particular, when teams are just requiring like a really strong safe lane.
Keen to see how Palace does down this bottom side as well, right? Because Vincenzo, the Omni Knight, it's not really something that can look to bully into this lane, right? Like, you can throw yourself forward, but if you're getting shackled, then you're in a very rough spot, even as this Omni, right? You can't purge that off with a Heavenly Grace. Yeah, you can avoid things like the Cinder Brew being onto yourself, but it's certainly a lot harder to be able to contest into the Shadow Shaman. He just beats you in everything. I mean, you're a strength hero, and you're also losing by 15 in terms of your right-click damage to a ranged hero. Basically, the only advantage he has is a slight movement one, but if the lane continues to go as it has, you don't really care too much about that.
Do you like that Wommy went... Is Ern coming out? What's he got coming out? Okay, no. This is a very interesting build from Wommy. Do you reckon he's just going to rush Midas?
No, surely not.
He's got gloves coming out. Is he... It's not a treads.
I mean, even just man fighting is pretty useful. Doesn't have the greatest starting agility on a Brewmaster, so might just be looking to get the better end of a lot of these trades.
Tino's going to be in trouble top. DB still got the Avalanche to play with. Enables Vreeze to step in once again to drop the blast, and a second kill for Army Geniuses in their safe lane. Oh, not the Goria!
The micro, though. Ooh. Ooh. It's going to get away. That's one of those busted couriers, huh? Like, probably worth thousands of dollars. It's just glowing, the Pugna courier.
Like, busted? What? I didn't know we're pay to win in Dota. What's going on?
Looks fancy.
Looks fancy.
Supports have to have something in their lives.
What do you mean? They got plenty. The Dota is such a good game for supports at the moment.
You can bury so many salves to your core.
You are such a sook. Jesus Christ. It never ends. Oh my, Wommy.
Oh, they even got the deny. Nice.
He's got Midas queued up.
Okay. I'm just trying to think, like, what is he actually looking to get that for, right? I mean, I suppose it means that you can just be passively getting a lot of this farm while you're trying to get active around, you know, your DK timings and that sort of thing.
Is going to be in trouble. They don't have a point in the Cinder Brew for the slow, but with Narmet being able to step in Vincenzo, Heavenly Grace has already been used by Lost. Couple more right clicks. They got the clap back up shortly. Wommy will not require it. He's got some stick charges to work with. I don't think he's going to be able to stand his ground, playing with the Fairy Fire. And we'll find a way through the... No, don't lose yourself, big man.
He doesn't have the Hammer of Purity. Won't be able to cancel it. 2 points into the Purification.
Bob's going to be in trouble mid lane. So he used the slide, so unable to dodge a Dragon Tail. Zero. Oh, he missed. One more. He doesn't miss. He's got the Fairy Fire. He'll be fine.
Oh.
Ooh. How long's he got left on this? Quite some time, so he's going to be able to utilize the Elder Dragon form with the Catapult. You already see that Vreeze is connecting. Maybe also trying to stop Shanks from getting a block off. Man, Bob...
Yeah, that's something that...
Sorry, go. No,
I
was just going to say
losing to the small camp.
There was a Nether Ward dropped and he used Slight, and I was going to say if he doesn't read this for another time and he actually used his ability, I think he would have died. But Bob's wary of that.
He just came back to this
Vincenzo's
lane.
Here. Vincenzo's just going to make sure he's chilling.
Actually gets quite a bit of value out of that. Actually, he had the Breathe Fire debuff on him, plus the damage over time from the Elder Dragon form, plus the Shackles. So he actually has a lot of that regen coming through from the Heavenly Grace.
You say it's uber value?
No, I would say it's uber value. I'm all about value. I'm the mayor of Value Town.
What? Who pointed you mayor of Value Town?
The people. The people elected me.
Yeah, okay, who's the people? What, the single person?
No, the people. People is plural.
Okay, so the two people, who are they?
Jim and Fred.
Okay. Bottom lane. Brew's alone at the moment. Palace has only got 1 point in the beam. Wommy's got to get pretty fancy with his shoes, his dancing shoes. Ooh, one more right click. Wommy, there's no way. He's got a Tango and a Quelling Blade to cut through. Don't go back into Palos. He should see the cut down tree. Oh no, Wommy! Oh.
He didn't stick either. At least he uses mana at the end of it all. It was down to 1 mana. It's going to slow down his Midas timing a little bit, which of course is unfortunate, but I still think that lane has gone perfectly fine. You know, the Luna, she's farming, but with the amount of time that he's been left solo, I think he can't really complain too much.
Breeze. This time he should be punished for trying to stop Shanks from stacking up the triangle. You'd love to give the kill to Bob, and yeah, he's going to clean that with a slight. He's got maxed out W now with the Orb Corrosion, so Bob's actually going to start doing a decent amount of damage. If he gets a power rune as well, unfortunately, it's going to be bottom and an illusion, so not much he can really do with it, but I was going to say if he gets like a haste or an invis, and all of a sudden, if Bob gets like another kill across the map, then you know, that rougher leaning stage he had would kind of be neglected.
Where's Palace going to move after this small camp is what I want to know. So, lucky for him, he walks on back towards his own jungle. If he came back to the lane, that would have been a near certain kill that Naman would have been able to pick up. That is an illusion, my friend. As he uses the shackles on Vincenzo's illusion. Nicely done. Just got to move like a human. Easy game.
I would really like to see Dyer bring Wami mid and use your first split behind the tower. You've got Elder Dragon form. You need these early objectives. You really need the tier 1 mid open just so you can move into the triangle. Because you know there's already been stacks that have been dropped. Is Bob... He's going for this. Shanks is going to be nearby to... Oh, nicely done. Dodges the first slight. Bob's not going to have the damage now to commit under the tower. Especially now that he missed the second. Breeze dipped him.
I think Wobby just really wanted that Midas before he made any kind of rotation. He honestly even might just wait for the 10-minute mark just to be able to play around those siege creeps. I mean, you don't even need it mid, do you?
Oh, no,
that
man.
was low enough already.
Poor Shaman. Bob's going to get another kill to his name, and look at that, man. Bob's like, lads, if you steal this kill, I don't know, I might get a little bit triggered. I could say some words, so Execration. Yeah, they make sure that
about to get some Jollibee, that's for sure.
Alright, got Midas picked up here for the Brewmaster, so we'll see how much farm he's going to be able to get. Imagine it's the brown boots into the Aghanims. What's Palace doing? Because we were intrigued about his item build. It's treads. Is his Mask of Madness completed? Yes, sir, it is. And it's got the Dragonlance now queued up for himself.
Pretty standard. Just a farming accelerator that allows him to stay in the jungle, frees up a lot of lanes. You know, a Sand King is super capable.
Sit down.
He'll be fine. You know the Sand King's super capable of just shoving out lanes on his own. Keeper of the Light can do the same. And Omni Knight's basically just covering at the moment. If he can soak up some experience. Oh,
have they got the blink already? Tino gets the bow into the middle. He's going to be killed off, but it might not matter. As it's massive amounts of damage. All the AoE from Execration dropping on the hands. As Army Geniuses, they lose 2. They don't get the tier 1 tower as well, so that's a credible blink reveal. Getting a little bit of damage that they needed, and now they're even going to think about defending this bottom push.
Yeah, I mean, Wobby didn't show up for that one. To be fair, I just think it's so hard to join without those boots of speed. He's got them now, but yeah, it's just the impact of that early Sand King Blink Dagger, right? They gave him that big ancient stack to be able to farm. It accelerated his timing so much more, and then he's instantly able to have that kind of impact.
Yeah, Dyer is trying to find their ways to be able to start fights. DK is going to be working on the Blink as his first real item, like we see often. 1900 gold in the bank for Azura, so it's going to be closing the distance. Meanwhile, their carry is also going for the Moon Shard, and they have a couple of stacks over at the Ancients, so DB should get a decent amount of farm. You do see he's currently top of the net worth.
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
It's a bit unfortunate though. Army Geniuses still haven't seen the split just yet. Was hoping they'd get aggressive to be able to invade into the triangle. So Pelos takes all of that stack. Meanwhile, they're actually onto DB. No one's TPing in. Azura's going to try and step in for the combo, but Flame will tick him out. So Bob, off to a rough lane start, but after the lanes have dissolved, is 3-0 and 2. The net worth still is not looking the greatest, but we are still seeing him have impact, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, he's having impact in being that real playmaker. You know, Sand King can't do that much out of his epicenter timing, so you know, the rest of the damage on the team is still kind of lacking. So he really wants to just be playing around that. Like I said before, Luna can be shoving farming jungle. Sanking can be shoving lanes. They might look to make a play shortly now that you've got the epicenter back up on Tino. You don't really need to look to try and take top. And yeah, look at this. They just look to try and respond down bot here.
Woman's gonna be quick. He's gonna get the. Oh no, they missed the burrow. So close from Tino hitting the ultimate, but the rest of Army Geniuses are not by the tower, so they're not gonna get much value out of the split. Just a defensive one used from Wummy, and they're gonna back off.
Doesn't feel great, right? Like, he's got the point booster already, but he does really need to make sure that he's getting full value out of a lot of those splits, because that's what enables you to have these successful team fights. I mean, just have a look at Luna, right? She's gone full farming build. So if you're not able to pressure and take these team fights and force her to rotate back, she's just going to farm away. Going to be very happy with the state of affairs, especially, again, later stages of the game, you're backed up by an Omni Knight.
Dire's top tower is under
They're going to look to smoke, but Vincenzo early on is trying to play with Bob. So is Shanks on the Keeper of the Light. They feel like they've forced enough reactions mid, so they're anticipating Dire to actually think about moving to Pelos' lane. I've got a pretty good ward on the higher ground. It's going to see all these movements. Oh, they're going for Roche. Sneaky, sneaky.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Yo, I was gonna say you'd hate for that blast just to jump in the pit. It's nice because multiple heroes. Oh, Shanks might check. I thought he was going to.
Light available. Quickly push him out. I mean, there've been a few heroes missing off the map for quite some time, but I mean, who even takes this?
Get on Zero. Nah, the Shaman. Let's go, Narman. Narman's got soul.
Should have got it last game.
Radiant's courier has been
No,
killed.
not the courier. All right, we got a very even game. Execration getting all the farm, but Dire as well starting to hit their, getting close to their item timings. I think this age is more going to be a farming one. I can't imagine they're going to get too much out of it. At least the early couple of minutes. But they should have Aghanims towards the later stages of the advantage with the Aegis Immortal. So I think that's when Dire think about making a play.
You talking about the shard on Azura?
So the Agcept on Brew. I think that's what they're really waiting for.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it's almost that 15-minute mark as well, right? So DK needs that farm accelerator. He's done a decent enough job in the early game. 0-0 and 0 on Azura, just farming away, doing his thing. But yeah, it really is important that he's able to transition.
Gonna move to the triangle. Smoke's gonna pop, and they got the ward on the cliff. Wummy instantly with the ultimate out. Tina's going to try and follow up as well. It's a lot of AoE damage, but not enough to secure the kill at the moment. And Tina's going to be caught out of the river. His Army Geniuses lock him down thanks to the shackles. Now, Bob is not the easier target, but it looks like they will not care about the Ember Spirit. They're instantly starting to move bottom to transition that successful skirmish into an objective.
I understand what they're doing, trying to, of course, make more space for the Luna by making a lot of really aggressive plays, but you just can't kill the Brewmaster at this stage. You don't have the damage to be able to do it without the Luna there as well. To be able to layer in
DB's going to be in trouble. They've got a lane ward, so they see no one behind DB. Dire is starting to connect back to bottom, and there's nothing DB can do. He's just going to try and stand his ground and dish out as much damage as possible. Azura's going to jump, but Luna's protected for the Heavily Grace. You cannot take this fight. As Azura's going to look to retreat. We'll get out of dodge. But yeah, you lost DB. Yes, you got the tower, but... Ugh.
Yeah, a little bit awkward for sure. I mean, Wummy, he didn't join that team fight. He still was just playing around the bottom-ish side of the map. It's so important for him to get that Aghanim Scepter right.
Oh, Shanks.
Oh, has he been caught out again?
Yes, so he has. The shock blows him up. Pelos might have to use a defensive BKB. But Narman was not wanting to blink on forward with the Omni Knight playing right next to the Luna. Would have been very difficult.
Those BKB timings are the next real thing that you're looking at for the Tiny and the Dragon Knight. DK just picking up the Aghanim Shard, so going to accelerate the farm towards that. Might look to get maybe just the Ogre Axe before they look to try and make a play, maybe get some of these tier 2 items. Mid lane doesn't look like it's ready to go down just yet, and I mean, any time that you've got a Pugner, you're always happy to take a fight in a confined space like this.
Oh no, Wummy! He's going to be brought down with ease, although the life drain actually keeping Wummy healthy enough. The defensive G8. Wait, no one's dead? Azura might lose the Aegis.
Not that it matters.
Alright, we're chilling. I'm glad no one died and I coughed at the start.
Immediate smoke coming out afterwards. Now they've got the primal split. Really wants to use that Midas on Wami. Just 500 gold away from being able to pick up the full Aghanim Scepter, but even just using the Midas will bring him to level 12. Pretty important, and Shanks is an easy target to go on.
You're happy with that, though. Support gives away his life. You got the cores still finding their farm. Bob almost has BKB. Palace is top of the net worth. And Tino's very close to his own BKB as well. But this is definitely go time for Dire, I imagine. Do you feel like they can maybe think about taking this bottom T2 tower?
They can consider it. I mean, that's where a lot of their vision is focused around the bottom side of the map right now. So that's probably where they feel most comfortable taking a lot of these engagements. But right now, they're sitting right underneath the Radiant Ward.
They gotta get out. They've got to get out. Azura. It's gonna try and... This is a big target if they can blow him up. They won't have the Omni Knight for the fight. Vincenzo's still not dead just yet. How is Vincenzo not gonna die? They're trying to use the smoke to get out, but it will not matter as Execration take a beautiful fight under the cliff ward as Palace is going to enter the middle. Meanwhile, Bob just solo kills Varese onto the northern side, and now they are not done as Azura. He's going to have Wami nearby. DB's going to think about stepping in. It's another round of the Primal Split, but they don't have control. They can cycling up the Ember, but they will not be able to continue the chase onto the Luna, but it will not matter though as Wami runs into Tino. Is he... Okay. I was gonna say, is he gonna go for that kill? He's considering it. Wami. This is a bit greedy now on the Brew. You're able to refresh the abilities. DB's gonna blow up Palace on the backline. The blink reveal from DB paying off for Army Geniuses, but the respawns are starting to come through. You've really got to be considerate about how much damage Radiant can do. DB's waiting for the blink. He wants to jump again. A double combo onto Shanks and Vincenzo. And meanwhile, they just can't kill Wami. Now with the Pugner being able to pivot over his attention to keeping the cause alive, Bob will have to get out of dodge. Such a messy, long drawn out fight.
Yeah, really odd place for them to just be standing around for the longest time when that's probably really obvious where Execration were going to have that warded. DB as well, he was a little slow to join in the rest, but you just saw how impactful having that Blink Dagger was, right? Being able to jump on into the back lines, clean up the Luna after she'd already used her BKB.
They might be setting up top for Azura.
He's pretty tanky though. I mean, he's been able to pick up the Ogre Axe now, so 200 extra HP. Just gets the stun off onto Bob to try and reduce his damage a little bit. I don't think he can kill him. In the meantime, Bot's pushing in a little bit.
That's 5 heroes top. Oh, Tino. Jumping TB. Sure. That is a very heavy commitment from Radiant. Sand King, Coddle, Luna, TP's on cooldown. I believe Ember used his as well. So they might be forced to glyph. Yeah, I like this play from Narman a lot. Just dropping Serpent Wards, you got the catapult. I wonder if Dire glyph themselves. Yeah, alright, that's a big play.
Yeah, I mean, look at hold alt. Look at all the TP cooldowns that they've got on Execration's side. No one can defend this except for an Omni Knight. That's why I was really thinking that DB was going to stay down on this bottom side instead of TPing up there. They probably had the vision and he would have absolutely taken this tier 2 tower. You might still do it. It looks like it'll be a little bit short on the damage front for Wami as well as Narman to be able to take this one out.
What are we looking for Radiant in regards to this next big item to kind of turn the tides?
I mean, it does feel like Bob, he's going in and he's making a lot of space, but again, his net worth is suffering, and that's because he's not securing these big team fight kills. And I feel like until he has the freedom to be able to go in onto the backlines, to be able to focus down Varese by heavily committing with a lot of his remnants, while still having the BKB as an escape tool, it's just going to be rough for him to get to that stage. So BKB on Bob is probably the one for me, and I believe you just had a Crystallis finished up by Palace, so that's going to amp up the damage a little bit further as well.
Oh, there's a DD top. Guys are going to get there first. Radiant is starting to move to that direction. They've all smoked. You know, not going to get an opportunity though, but they'll turn to the Pugner instead. Not the worst target to be able to bring down. Varese doesn't get the ward off as well if a fight continues to break out.
unfortunately decrept himself, so the Nether Blast was able to just wipe him out there.
Definitely not the items though for Army Geniuses. I like the call just to leave the Pugner and get out. Like DB's so close to BKB. Azura's very close to BKB, just looking for the recipe. You've Aeon Disc is a bit of gold away. Say that again.
No, you can disassemble the boots.
Oh, very true, top lane. No, you're right, you're right.
Even Shaman going the BKB himself, right? So how are you going to stop him? Like, it needs to be basically a Luna focusing a Shadow Shaman in a lot of these engagements, and that's not what you want.
Massive Pitus. Yo, Wommy. Oh, we had a big creep there. Damn, that is a DP putting the whip in. We spoke about Bob earlier, just telling his team to give him the kill. His DP's like, if you minus that big creep, I don't know, we're gonna have some issues.
It is all those big items coming at almost exactly the same time, though, right? Azura, he's popped the Elder Dragon form, so they don't want to go just yet. But luckily for him, the wave pushed all the way into the tier 2 tower on the top side. Azura, very easy for him to claim this next wave, but they know that he's hungry for it. Oh, it's daytime, though. I think he just got a brief glimpse of Palos there, so he's going to back off right underneath his tower.
Tino? An early BKB.
They seem ready to fight.
They Roche?
It doesn't seem like Army Geniuses really want to take this team fight, though. Like, you could very easily just finish up so many big items. Glimmer Cape, Aeon Disc, BKB on 3 different heroes, and all you need to do is wait for 300 gold. So, yeah, that's what Azura's saying to DB. I was like, I know you can take camps in about 2 seconds, but please, I just need my BKB. I'm so close.
And Naaman's setting up for this bottom lane to be pushed in. And Glyph is still on cooldown as well, so if he drops the Serpent Wards, his tower will be killed off, but hesitant about...
He wants to retain it for Roche, right? Like, they want to fight around these big item timings and force them to come into the Roche pit.
Sure. Well, I like this. So you see Palos go bottom to deal with the wave. So, yeah, it's either you lose a tier 2 tower bottom, and it's a trigger location, and if you go there, then now the pit gets opened up.
Wami really wants to use that Midas. Tried to walk back onto his side. He's like, well, maybe. Potentially.
Oh, they gave him the shard. Has anyone else got...
Void Panda. I mean, DK already has it. Tiny already has it. Pugner's is terrible. Shaman's is kind of okay. But maybe just wanting to have that status resistance to guarantee that you're going to be able to get off the split. I mean, it feels really unlikely that you're not going to, but that's all I can really think of.
Execration. Smoke on smoke.
Dire are scanning.
Are they gonna go into them? Radiant, they've got all vision control kind of to the right side of this map. So yeah, I think the play for AG is just control the triangle, get some wards down. This triangle will open up top and mid for them to cut the waves. So the only play Radiant can kind of mirror this though. If they just go to Dire's triangle and do the same thing. They go bot and mid. And
but
also,
the thing is, you push nowhere near as quickly as Army Geniuses does, right? You've got a Tiny with a Hyperstone. Sorry, not a Hyperstone, a Moonshard. He's level 20, so he's actually gone, not the status resistance, it's changed around order, so now he's got that extra tower burst damage.
Was
it's just like, well, you might be able to get a tier 1, but actually, they might not even get that. They're all TPing back.
DB. Mine. Oh, Tina's gonna jump. It's a lot of... If they can blow up the brew, it's gonna assemble the Aeon Disc and now has the opportunity for the Primal Split and Execration. They gotta get back to the safety of their high ground. I'm just gonna be cautious, man. There is a lot of AoE damage. It might catch him off guard in some of these fights if they get pretty chaotic, but tier 2 tower for a split, and you are happy with that.
Still 3 minutes left on that as well. You've retained your tier 2 tower bottom. Very, very happy on Army Geniuses where that state of affairs. Everyone has BKB except for the Pugner now. And how do you fight? Where's your damage going to come outside of a Luna right-clicking? He's going to run into Palos first. If you could pick off the Pugner first, that'd be huge.
Tino's going to jump. They can't really blow up DB to start, and the BKB reaction from Azura. They're targeting the Omni Knight down. That's all the sustain. No GA now to stand their ground. Unfortunately, Shackle's onto a support. But Wami's hunting. He might be able to catch up to Tino. But a blink at the last second. Burrow Strike still on cooldown and TP, but it looks like Tino's going to be okay. To the north, Bob. He's stuck around. Oh no. Dragon Tail, where's the follow-up stuns? Bob's got an opportunity to pop the BKB. He's got to look to be able to get out. There's no more ways to go through this control now. As Palace, he can step into the middle, but DB doesn't want to give them the opportunity. Look at all the cleave damage from DB. What is that? All the tiny rips apart to here. It's now Azura can fly over to the river. As Palace, he will be sent packing. Oh, Bobby.
He'll get away. But, yeah, another good use of the Aegis, right? They were able to get that one. Had about 2 minutes left, but it doesn't matter when you force that heavy of a commitment. You force the BKBs out. A little bit of some odd positioning coming through from Wami. His micro of the Brewlings wasn't amazing, so he was still able to initially get away on the Sand King. But just meant that he left his hero there to die at the end. Able to get turned around upon, but this should be another tier 2 tower removed from the equation.
Tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Feeling like he could make a play onto Bob, perhaps. Still lacking a little bit of that damage potential, though.
What do you feel like is the best target for Execration to bring down at the start of the fight? Who do they have to put priority on?
I think they need to try and take out the Pugner, and they need to bait BKBs, and they need to back off, basically. And then if they can fight without that, then I think they're in a decent spot, because then their magic damage can actually start to have an impact.
They can't fight what they can't see.
One thing to mention as well, we have seen Tino play some incredible Sand King games. Oh, speaking about Tino, he's actually going to go in. Guess he's got Vincenzo nearby, but as soon as the Omni Knight shows, the Army Genius's recognition that this is the most important hero, but it might set up for Tino. Instant BKBs, mitigating the damage from the epicenter. Bob's going to go into the middle of the fight. They have to be careful of DB. As soon as the BKB expires from Bob, he needs to get out. And with the Remnant set up, he's actually going to go into Varese. And there they go. They've kited the initial start, but DB, well, he still feels like he can take this fight onto Tino. There's no way they can protect him, as the GA's a little bit too late, and that's instantly purged off. But in the end, Army Geniuses, they will lose 3, so Execration take a bit of a messy fight, but it is going to favor them this in that regard, as DB, he jumps back in. Vincenzo's not enough for the sustain. He wasn't able to get the Heavenly Grace, but now DB still might be in trouble. Palos control for the moment, but they don't have any more primal splits to hold them back. In fact, Wami, they're still on cooldown, 30 seconds. DB, well, there's no detection. They drop a sentry at the last second. DB's out of there.
It was a little bit of an odd positioning from Naaman. I thought he went just too much forward, and then he actually cancelled the shackles immediately, which meant that, of course, you had that Heavenly Grace potential for the later stages of that team fight. To not have to force a buyback out of the Omni is a pretty big deal, honestly, just when you consider that a lot of your own damage is still very physical when you can't rely on the Brew Split.
Oh, poor Shanks. It's good knowing you, my friend.
Yeah. This level 20 on the Brew is actually pretty nice as well. I mean, we've seen the Luna shred through those Brewlings, so the extra 1400 HP, it's going to go a long way.
Is this another Perseverance? Okay, no. It's just the neutral item for Wami. It's definitely going to help him be a little bit more sustainable in these fights so he can get the ultimate off. Of course, whenever Aeon Disc is on cooldown, he's a bit vulnerable. Radiant have a lot of burst potential with the magic damage. But they're in a very difficult position here for Execration. Down 11,000 gold in our game 1.
Even just having that additional blink cancel through the Cloak of Flames can be kind of nice as well. See exactly where he's moving, though. Do they have any... This is the stage where you probably want to be buying a gem, right? You feel like you're very confident. There's going to be a couple of minutes until Roshan. Just get control over the map. It doesn't matter where. Need to make it difficult for Execration to try and leave their base. You want to cement the lead as much as you can.
And they have decent pick-off as well, so it's very difficult for them to... Oh no, not the ward.
Yeah, it was the right choice. He needs to go for a lot more of these unorthodox ones, especially in the lead up to Roche, right? Just to see when they're preparing to go. Even just this one that's kind of scouting around the Roche pit.
So this is what
pretty
the Invoker is messing with.
Chenso's just running like mad away from Wami. Even
Oh
pops the
no.
drums.
Oh no. Level 25 now. We went the toss charges.
Yeah, I think you just want to lock people down, essentially. It's not like you've got a coddle to be able to have permanent avalanche.
Radiant are
Bottom lane as well. Narman's getting set up. Because he does have the BKB for the chain control. They're connecting from the tier 1 tower bottom, and Execration are running in that direction.
Not stuck on the cliff though, so he needs to.
They know they
reload
went
his
right.
team.
They have this lane ward, so they didn't see them going back towards the left. Shing's gonna go for a blinding light TP out. They've been able to cancel Tino's, so Sanking doesn't have a TP. I don't know if they saw him though. Well, they saw the sandstorm, but they didn't know if they were able to cancel it. So it looks like Tino is gonna be okay, but how do you get back? Like, what does Tino do?
Pray, try and wave cut a little bit. I mean, how low is the tower? Tower's kind of low, so if they leave and start to fight around that Roche pit, I guess he can look to try and make a little bit of space on the bottom of the map. But yeah, he's going nowhere for 50 seconds.
All right, so
Dire's
Palace
top
has
tower is
got a
under
Satanic
attack.
completed, and Bob also just completed the Aghanim Scepter. So some items still being accumulated. We spoke before about what Execration can do in fights and how they have to kind of prioritize the Pugna, then kite the BKBs. But for Arbin Genius, we've seen their readers just been killing off Vincenzo, aiming the Omni Knight, taking him out of the equation. Then if they can do that, the fight looks relatively good for them.
And I think the big thing is, I mean, even just have a look at how, excuse me, Ember Spirit is talenting. He went for the extra Searing Chains target. They're just trying to enable Palace as much as possible.
If they can pop an Aeon Disc here, it's going to be pretty important for them. Live train. There we go. Aeon Disc pop. Now you got to get out. Vincenzo, though.
What are you doing over
He's
there, my man?
really out of place. Bob's going to try and deal with the backline in Narman. It's going to be reliant on the slight damage, but again, the life drain heal keeping Narman healthy. Now they all got to get out. Bob's out of mana, though. They're not going to be able to turn to him. Instead, Shanks is in trouble. Two here. Oh, DB's onto Palos now. So BKB protects him. Be able to TP out to safety. They might consider Tino, but Azura doesn't want to blink to the
Radiant's
T3
middle tower is
tower.
under attack.
But I mean, now did you have to? Yeah, he did pop BKB on the Tiny, so he feels very confident in going in on DB. I'm sure he's saying to Azura, look, just give me some high ground vision. You've got the Aghanim Scepter, you're incredibly tanky. You're going to let the Serpent Wards do a lot, and as soon as there's any
Oh, DB's going to jump instantly.
Yep.
And just going to protect him for the moment. Tino's going to get a little bit of distance thanks to the Burrow Strike. But you see, as soon as they cyclone up Palace, there's just nothing that Execration can
Radiant's middle
do.
tower has fallen.
So they're going to do it again.
I think they're just happy to be
Radiant's middle
a little bit careful.
They're going to be cautious. BKB's going to
Great
protect
BKB.
TB. A Guardian Angel's out. Wami doesn't have mana. It does at least give him enough for a second round of the Aeon Disc. Bob's going to fly to the backline as well, but the Remnant's on cooldown for the moment. They might... Oh, Azura. He's able to find the Dragon Tail, but they instantly have their Grace protecting Bob, but there we go. They've got the Primal split out. Narman's in trouble. Gonna try and chain control Vincenzo, but they haven't been able to find the Omni Knight just yet. So it's actually a decent fight for Radiant, but all eyes on Palace. He's really the main damage source now, but DB flies into the middle, looking to stand his ground, but he doesn't have the BKB available. It might not matter. Satanic lifesteal is not enough as Palace will do it. Palace with the Ultra Kill is gonna try and find the Rampage onto Azura, hiding around in the little crystal, but they'll give him the Rampage as Palace... Oh no!
No.
No!
That's fine.
Radiant's middle
But yeah, the
barracks are
the
under
BKB literally just came up there as the Tiny went in on top of him. So it was nail biting, the fact that he was so close to being burst down there by the Tiny if he didn't have that. It literally came down to a matter of 2 seconds. And, well, it was nearly a maximum Roshan respawn timer. So they're going to be able to go into it with a level 25 Luna. She's buffed up her Luna blessing damage just to be able to enable herself. But even for things like the Ember Spirit, right? He opted to go away from the Sleight of Fist hero damage. So that to be able to buff up his damage output is pretty nice as well.
So there are definitely a couple things that happened in that fight. I think the one big thing in particular was them not dealing with the Omni Knight. We saw Vincenzo get a lot of abilities off. The value from the Guardian Angel was very important for a decent chunk of that fight, for them to be able to kite it and then get those BKBs up and some other key ultimates. We also saw that as soon as the Brew pop refresher, he didn't have enough mana. So kind of had to wait like 10 seconds plus to have that available. So just minor things that didn't go in the way of Army Geniuses. And now all of a sudden we truly have a ball game. Like even though Execration lost Right, they lost the range racks, but they're only down 5,000 gold. You've got Refresher Shard along with Cheese on Bob. You've got the Ages onto Palos. So they're definitely in a position to be able to take this game.
I mean, Variz, does he have any detection on Bob? That's really what I really want to see. I know it's important for him to be holding on to that cheese, but you can't be diving in onto the back lines, making Narman and Variz's life terrible if they're just going to glimmer and be able to walk away. You know, even just the BKB, right? Makes it so much harder for himself. But he's got so many remnants, 10 remnants to be able to use effectively.
Oh, he wants 15 remnants. Oh no, there's a DD. Get out, get out! Vincenzo's on the front line again. And he forced off top of the high ground. Vincenzo, instant hex. Now they're on the him. Oh no, Tina's gonna try and turn it onto the backline. Palace with the backstab. It's a lot of damage coming through for the moment, but the BKB's protecting DB. But they have the Guardian Angel instantly purged off, and now they can't win the man fight. His DB is just amplified thanks to Variz, thanks to the DD, and they don't have a way to combat this as DB recognizes they'll kill off Palace with ease, and he's already blinking some more. But Jenks is out. Will not matter though, as that is... Well, Tino?
DD Tiny, great.
Tino, what's going on here, my guy? Doesn't have a buyback as well, so another hero put in the grave. That's GG.
Yeah, just need to try and... what he was doing was trying to keep that backdoor protection a factor, and he got one wave, but it's still going to push through, and of course, it's a Tiny. He's able to go through that backdoor protection. Doesn't give a damn.
Go on me. Celebratory dance outside the fountain as Execration call it. Wow. A tiny position 1.
Still able to make it work. I think it wasn't just that though. You know, they were very heavily leaning towards the magical damage, right? Everything needed to go perfect for the Luna to be able to have a good game. The Brewmaster, like you said, game-winning pick coming out of that last overall pick of the draft for Wummy. Didn't play it perfectly. There were a couple of times where he was caught out of position and his micro wasn't on point, but honestly, as long as you're able to get off the split, get a stun up, throw someone in the air, dispel magic for the Guardian Angel, you've done your job, and that he did.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly what he did. We were both kind of saying that it was probably one of the better picks we could go for. We weren't looking for it when we were speaking about the draft.
It was a snap pick, basically. Yeah. So,
but like you said, though, I think everyone else well and truly played their role in this game, though, for Army Geniuses. It's going to be interesting to see how Execration, like what they put emphasis on in the next game. Especially with how good Army Geniuses looked. Like this was, again, it was a position 1 Tiny. Like we don't get to see this hero often. They did a very good job to enable DB. And I like that he went for the Moonshard route as well. On the Tiny, I mean, we saw, it's actually something that we were speaking about off screen about kind of how the Tiny, your farm is a lot slower now than what it was prior. Of course, your damage as well in particular, but the fact that DB is still with this Moonshard, top of the net worth, they do an incredible amount. Of course, they get a little bit lucky with some of their runes, but is there anything in particular we're looking for Execration to work on next game, or do you feel like it's mainly just an execution issue?
I don't think it was necessarily execution. I mean, the Keeper of the Light, I think, did as much as he possibly could have. Bob did a decent time in the lane. To me, it just came down to this Omni Knight pick, right? If you're not going to pair it with a strength hero and you're not going to take over the laning stage and you're leaving the Brewmaster in the pool, it's like, what's your thought process there? Because anytime I even consider going for an Omni Knight pick myself, Enchantress needs to be gone, as well as Brewmaster. And if they're still in the pool, I probably don't go down that avenue. So they were really just drafted into a corner, it felt, with this DK Shadow Shaman duo. And with the Abaddon removed from the pool, might mean that you need to take one of those away from Army Geniuses so that you're not forced down this route again.
All right. Well, Army Geniuses with a game advantage now in our best of 2. Of course, this is a pretty important series from either side as they are trying to determine who will be slotted into the upper bracket. But we'll see if Execration is able to hit back in our second game.